You are listening to the Built to Grow podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast, the best fitness business podcast on the planet. Joined as always by Randy Angston. What's up, buddy?
Hey, guy.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that intro.
I'm changing the intro.
It's official.
now.
It's official.
Hey, you know what? I haven't heard that we're the worst.
I haven't heard anybody not say we're the best. So
There you go. Perfect. A couple quick announcements, everybody. December 3rd and 4th, your final chance to get the CLA for the low price of the 2020 pricing is going up next year. We're doing this workshop, and then I'm taking the rest of December off. So you'll never see me again until 2021.
find him in the woods.
See ya. So, yeah, jump on that. What's the URL?
winninggym.com/workshop.
Okay, cool. So this episode is it's about LBOs, right? Low barrier offers. This has been around since I've been in the gym business. You've had some version of a LBO out there. Call it a challenge, call it a short-term program. It's a low barrier to try your gym. Essentially, it's a trial to your gym.
Paid trial, sure.
It's a paid trial. I want to talk about the pros and cons because there seems to be some confusion as to marketing, right? We put a poll in our business talk with professionals, fitness professionals group. And by the way, if you haven't joined that group, go jump in that group. It's on Facebook. It's business talk with fitness professionals. We'd like for you to own a gym. That's all gym owners in there. So jump in. A couple quick questions to enter that group. But we had a poll in there. If you had to fix one thing in your business today, what would that thing be? You know, marketing, sales, business model, staffing, all those things came up. And it was a little bit of the model, but mostly marketing and then staffing. We already had a show on staffing, so now we're talking marketing.
That's always going to be the struggle.
Yeah. And it's really client acquisition. If we're going to put a broad, stroke to this, it's like, I need more clients. How do I do it, right? And, essentially they're saying it's marketing, but let's talk about one aspect of marketing and call it a play, call it a tactic, call it what's the next thing. A lot of it comes down to the LBO world. And, as much as I like to say that they're going to disappear, I don't think LBOs are ever going to disappear.
No, I think it fits the marketplace, and that's really what it's all about. Personal training is personal. This is an industry where I don't know if we did it to ourselves or if the marketplace kind of dictated the need, but we live in a society where when you go to get a gym membership, usually the training side, you usually get to try the services at a lower rate, sometimes for free, before you commit to something.
Yeah. Probably did it to ourselves.
We probably did it to ourselves, trying to get that sale. But
probably because it's hard. I mean, to get somebody that's never heard of you from their couch into giving you, potentially $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 by signing on the line, it's not like you snap your fingers and it happens.
Well, and the understanding of what it is like to experience it is different. Somebody said years ago, when trying to explain something that was complicated, they use the term, something that we all do all the time. They said, it's like a haircut. You have to experience it in order to understand.
True. Like,
you could explain what it's like getting a haircut, but it's just a hair. Once you experience it, it's really cut and dry, and no pun intended, on what it's like,
That's it.
But if you were to articulate it, it's just a strange experience. And so once and again, it's not just the haircut, it's a lot of experiences in life. When you experience something, you have an entirely different outlook than when somebody explains it or describes it to you.
Correct.
And I think that's where a lot of the buying power comes from, or the ability to sell, I guess, is once they've experienced it. Now that the dollar amount and the value is perceived.
Yeah. I mean, I'll throw this out there. I wish we lived in a society where we could open our doors, throw a website up, and people who were motivated internally to get in great shape because of themselves would walk in and sign up with no marketing needed. I wish that was the thing.
Sure. We'd all own gyms.
Right. I mean, think of what kind of business is that? I think a bar.
Things that are, typically necessities, right? Like where it's a non-negotiable, like
grocery store, gas. You show up,
commodities.
You're there, but also maybe like a bar, which is like, cigarettes, addictions, and things like that. People are just going to be they're going to go do it. But fitness, it's different. And I wish, because like I said, having somebody get up on their own, self-motivated, drive over and sign up on the line, they're motivated. They're actually going to be a really good client because they did it on their own. They could, potentially be.
I wonder if that's I wonder if it's a chicken or egg kind of thing. Is it the fact that is the industry smaller than, let's say, our competition? The bar industry is the cigarette, the fun side of, the body, I guess, or what you could do to your body. Is it because it's difficult to get the result here, and those are immediate gratification?
Oh,
why
yeah. That's one of them.
Sure.
You would say that, especially when it comes around New Year's resolutions, the number one resolution: get in better shape, feel better. Everybody wants to snap their fingers, and they're in love with the idea of being in shape and fit and six-pack abs. They're in that vision. They want that. You can't just buy that. You got to earn it, and that's the biggest difference between us and, say, like a surgery, like a boob job, right? You go in and get a boob job, and there you are.
Walk out with a boob job.
That's it. Instant. Nails, you go in and get your nails done. For women, they go in, their nails are done, and it's done. They don't have to do anything for that. A massage, dentist, right? Whatever. So anyways, going back to the LBO, right? So we got to talk about the pros and cons. And, let's talk about, we've run, in fact, at ProFit, we came on the scene running LBOs for gyms. And like I said in the beginning, I don't think they're going anywhere because they check all the boxes as to why they work.
Yeah.
So let's talk about why they work. In fact, we called these, we coined our own term, bracketed programs, because within the brackets, it has everything you need. So it has a start date, it has an end date, has a price point. It shows you everything that's included. People can visually look at that and say, for this price, for this long, I'm going to get this, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
And it checks the boxes. And they can physically, in their head, I guess it's mentally, think about themselves doing that. So it hits all the check boxes. And typically it's at a price point where they don't have to think too hard about it.
Yeah.
So it hits that checkbox too.
Yeah, it's like we always, coined it to like the candy bar at the checkout, right?
Yeah,
it's
there
an
it is.
Impromptu. Here it is. It's in front of you. Take it.
Right. So if it checks all those boxes, why wouldn't you do it? Well, there's some reasons why you wouldn't. And here's a really good reason. And this should hit home with a lot of people. If all you do for your marketing is run LBO, challenge, program after program after program that are short-term, and you're just hoping to fill up that program and convert them into members, fill up that program, convert them into members, what happens in between? Your market is waiting for the next challenge, program, offer, LBO to join that one. They're not coming in and joining your regular
The
stuff.
only other people that are walking through the door are the ones that you're looking for. And that's it. You can't. It's not scalable. You can't predict that. The person who just shows up at the door and walks in and wants a gym membership, there's no way to go out and just make that happen whenever you wish. So that's the only business you're going to get during those valleys.
And so if you're this gym where you have this surge drop, you're forced. You're literally conditioned your market to wait till the next LBO. And is that the position you want to be in?
And here's another thing. Why, because we know from running them all the time, it's not something that you want people jumping in and out of every quarter or every 5-6 weeks when you're running a new one or whatever it may be, right? The same participants aren't taking place in all of these challenges. It's a feeder system into memberships. So if that's not clearly understood from minute one, like a trial at a gym being an LBO versus a challenge that's kind of seasonal, exciting, things like that. If I'm the consumer, I might just think that, maybe I just want to jump into January's. Well, then summer's coming. Maybe I want to jump into the beach body or the summer body one. Or maybe I want to jump into the fall back to, you know what I mean? You're creating a almost like a seasonal fitness, need for this person, as opposed to, hey, this is an everyday lifestyle change, which is what we really sell. That you're not, your marketplace is going to see that too. You know what I mean? Like we had a lot of our clients that would watch people not want to convert into memberships, but then sure as hell, the next time they run a LBO, they're the first person to opt in and buy.
So that's an obvious con, right? So this is what we're trying to say is like, they're great, but they also hurt you at the same time. I mean, there's ways to say, you know what, you can only do one of these ever,
Sure.
or one of these a year, or whatever it is. And then guess what? It happens. They're not going to join your gym, and they're not going to join the next one, and then they join somewhere else.
And at the end of the day, the goal is not to just make a $97, charge for a client for 21 days. It's to have an EFT client for years.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, cart value or lifetime value of a client, what it means to your business.
Yeah.
If you're not converting these clients into members, that's not really a winning thing.
Right.
We're
That's the whole
I mean,
point.
that's the point of why we're in business is to sell memberships.
So you got the obvious pros, you got the obvious cons. The question is, what do you do? Well, you could you mix it up and just space them far enough apart to where your marketplace doesn't get conditioned to waiting? I think you can.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you can. Maybe you do just once a year. Maybe you do it twice a year. Maybe once in the first half and once in the second half. Decide. And Lindsay Vestola, who was on our summit, she has something that she coined her signature program. So she teaches this, and Lindsay's great. She it was a true feeder in her thing. But yeah, I would imagine even in her situation, people were waiting for the next one because they were so big and hyped up. I forget the name of hers, but it was a really good name. And I'm sure they got people into those, and then they waited, and they didn't join, and they joined the next one, and then joined. It's just part of human nature. But how do you get that like organic? The question here in marketing is how to get that organic flow of people coming in, like the person I said, getting up off the couch, Googling your information, they're motivated and showing up. Well, there's a lot of steps to that. In fact, we've been really hitting a lot of home runs. We just closed the deal before this podcast. Zach did, and I've got a starting point after this podcast coming in. Both organic, both Googled us, both went to the website, and then boom, they came in. So SEO. Okay, let's talk about SEO.
Yep.
Search engine optimization for specific keywords that your marketplace is searching for. You can, show up organically in the search results. Ideally, you want to be on page 1, and within page 1 in the top, 5. There's 10 placements on each page of Google, and you want to be in the top 10, but even then you want to be in the top 5.
Top 5, sure.
It's amazing the drop off. I don't know the numbers. Let's just say, 50% drop off to page 2 and 80% drop off to page 3.
It was huge. It's huge.
Yeah. So you've got to be up there. So there's companies that do SEO. Again, you've got to trust the source. We use a company, Startup Active. You can drop our name with them if you're interested. I know a lot of our clients use them for SEO. There's paid traffic. There's, AdWords. There's, it's AdWords. And you got, you can drive YouTube traffic. You can drive paid traffic from Facebook to your website. There's a lot of ways to get people to your website that's not an LBO driven offer, but just to your website. So that brings up the next obvious thing is like, is your website, is it
up to date,
par. Optimized. The word I was looking for is optimized.
Sure.
There's a great book out there called Story Brand. Read it, listened to the audiobook. It's so like logical. It's like this guy wrote a book, and this is like and it's blown up. Like there's teaching courses, and you're a story brand expert.
Yeah, a lot of gurus.
Yeah. Beware of the guru that goes to a story brand workshop and now is trying to sell you their services. But it's so simple. You guys can read it, and it's obvious. It's such an obvious thing that most of us are just missing the boat. We overthink the what a website's supposed to do.
Well, I think right there is a good point. I think when you think about your website, you automatically want to have everything available for the person, and it's the Cheesecake Factory menu, right? Well, then there's so many different things for this person to do. There is no clear-cut direction on what they should do.
Yep.
And Story Brand takes it from that to like a logical, kind of like a front to back path. And it guides the buyer through a story, essentially, and to the...
Well, it's like as simple as your headline. For example, a painter, right? We paint houses. That needs to be the headline. Really? Like that's how obvious it is. But anyways, if you're going to drive traffic, and you would essentially think that if people are on your website, they came organically in most cases. If you have Google Analytics, you can see paid versus organic. You can see your keywords, and you got to think about the intent of the person that searched and showed up to your website. Their intent is a much higher person. So
absolutely.
Are websites important? Abso-freaking-lutely. And I can't stand, you only need funnels, or you just need your Facebook page or social media. Like, websites are so powerful that, I can easily put a number of over $1 million generated from our website.
Oh, for sure.
Well over $1 million. Like, from people come in from our website, signed up, and give us. They're that powerful. So get on your website. Go find a good website designer that specializes in the fitness space. Talk to Andy over at Startup Active.
Guys, and understand, I open up every one of your websites when I get your information. Take that to the bank, because if your website looks like it was made in 1992 using MS Paint, you need to update it. Another big piece of advice there is, we've talked about this in the past, your website should look like your clients. It shouldn't look like the perfect beach body that you don't have any clients that look like. It shouldn't be you with your shirt off. It should be a representative of the people that you serve, because that's who you're trying to attract.
Yes.
That's important.
Important to note. Yeah, well, there was, again, back to the LBO game, where the people were selling these funnels that were designed around these, like...
Shirts off guy,
bikini models and gyms that were sold into this. And like, I can't understand why this isn't working. Well, look, you always put the consumer's lens on when you're looking at your own marketing. That would be the first thing. Like, what do they need to hear? What do they need to see? What are their, emotions and reservations and fears and, and like, what do they need? And build around that instead of what you think is cool.
Good. That's great advice.
Yeah, just let's do that. That'll always help you. Always look at it from the client's point of view. So, anyways, back to LBOs. Should you run them? I think, yes, you can. We haven't run one in over 18 months, 2 years.
It's been a while here.
Yeah. It's just, I think I didn't want to. I think we saw that what was happening, and we had the people that would always sign up, and it was like, come on, dude, like just.
Oh, and not only that, we used your gym as our testing grounds for every one of our clients. So every funnel that we ran, every single time that we had something to do, we did it here first.
Oh, right.
So we probably we probably burned through the marketplace a little bit harder than most people would have.
Yeah. Oh, we ran hard. Yeah, because we had a test to see if it would work before we sold it to our clients. Go figure. Actually,
wait, what?
Using your
data?
Using your own money to test something versus your client's budget and trying to test. If your marketing guru doesn't own a business, a gym, maybe that they're running their own campaigns from to see if they work. Again, just think, guys. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's not. Am I bitter? No. I just don't like seeing people get screwed and taken advantage of, and then when they come to us, we can't convince them otherwise. They think we're like all these other guys. It's frustrating a lot of times, but so maybe I'm a little salty.
No, it hurts. It hurts not even having the opportunity to serve someone because somebody else did them wrong. That's what it comes down to.
Salty. Well, all we can do is keep serving and doing the right thing over here. That's something.
That's what we're trying.
All right, so figure out your LBOs. I just want to touch on marketing and LBOs, and I can't.
Before we go, though, because you were getting there, LBOs are a form of marketing. Mm-hmm. It's not marketing. Marketing is a spectrum. It's equal. Like you talked about the website. You talked about, all of these different avenues.
Poles on a wire.
And this is exactly what we talk about constantly, and why we preach that. You want some of the people walking, the intentional people looking for a fitness program. You need to drop marketing in the places those people are looking. Google, YouTube, utilize those things. Facebook, cool. Maybe it makes sense to, on the occasion, run a low barrier offer and put it in front of people who didn't necessarily know that they were looking for it, but the deal and the bracketed program that you put in front of them is bite-sized, tangible, and they it checks the boxes. There you go. And now those people are coming into your gym. Community events. Hell, we can see gyms going back to direct mail, and it's working. Referrals. Like, these are all forms of marketing. So understand, digital marketing is just one small piece of the puzzle, guys. Don't put all of your eggs in the LBO basket. Don't put them all in just the digital marketing basket. Get out there. Drop a couple polls in a couple different places, because you will be drawing traffic in from different areas. And it's crucial to do so. So that's what we wanted to get on when it came to like the topics that Tim polled on.
Yeah.
Marketing being that need. Within marketing, I hope you guys are seeing that it's more than just what the next hook play is.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
That's where I was going. I hate that gym owners are conditioned to always look for the next play. I think we've been spoiled that, some plays worked really, really well 4 years ago, and you're continuing to fight that. You're always chasing. You're always chasing that. Like, what's the next big thing? And, I understand there were some big-time campaigns. We ran them. You ran them. It's like that. Those days are kind of gone.
Well, even just to talk to the specifics on why it will never be the same on that platform.
Oh, well, the cost per...
Just the cost alone, guys. And this is something that unless you've done this and do it consistently, you might not even understand. You can have the same desire from the marketplace. Like, back then, the marketplace just didn't... Well, some of it probably changed. There's some of it that's definitely desensitized or exposed, overexposed. So they're not as prevalent as they have been in the past, just from an exhaustion type of situation. But even just to play the game, just to position the ad, we're talking, last we saw probably a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, it was 20 times the cost to show an ad to your marketplace than it was 4 years ago when we started this. 20 times. When we started this, it was a $400 dollar ad spend, $2,000 just to show the same level of... That's
five
more
times.
than that?
That's five
times. If
you did 8, it would be, for 400, it's
$3,200 just for the same impressions. So now when we ended doing this, it was damn close to $2,000-$3,000 for those ads.
And what he's really saying is, Facebook runs on a auction for impression, and inventory was available back then.
Yep.
So they would sell it, supply and demand. And the more demand, the higher the cost. It's called CPM, which is cost per 1,000 impressions. And so, give you an example, you go back in 2015 in your ads account, and you look at the ads that you were running then, and you had like this $5, $6, $7 CPM that now is like 40, 30, 40, 50.
Yeah, it was like 30-cent leads.
Yeah, it's just different. And there's a lot of reasons for that. One of them is Facebook is a public company, and they need to make revenue, and they can just continue to turn the dial and make it more and more expensive. So you have to spend more to get the same impressions. All things the same, meaning your funnel converts at the same percentage, your purchasing, your cost per acquisition, conversion percentages are all the same. Get the click in the door is 5, 6, 7 times higher, and that's the difference. And that could take you from profit to loss.
Big time.
And that's just because the platform changed. And it's not your fault. It's just the way it is. So understand that, and then also understand you can still make a lot of money if you run the right campaigns, and if your sales are great, and if you're selling at higher price points and your cart value increases, you can still make a return on investment.
Yeah, absolutely. Winning campaigns, we likely won't see 30, 40, 50, 80, 150 participants for a 21-day challenge a couple times a year.
All paid up front.
All paid in cash in hand. Those days are probably not coming back anytime soon.
So there you have it, guys. Keep chugging along. If you guys need help, jump on a call. We do have our CLA workshop coming up. Those are systems and automations for your gym, December 3rd and 4th. But until next time, guys, keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next show. Bye.